Hello, I'm Harry Forbes from ARC Advisory Group. I'm here with Dieter Hess, who's the CEO of CODESYS. Dieter, welcome.
Harry, thank you very much for the introduction and for the opportunity for this interview.
Well, I always like talking with you folks. You're a very interesting company. I saw in your booth the term virtual PLC, so I'll ask you to explain what a virtual PLC is.
Yeah, virtual PLC, it's a new product of us, and it's basically a soft PLC running in a virtual environment on in an IT environment.
Okay.
It's as our product is not only limited to PLCs, it's a general control system which can be used also for process automation.
So this runs in a virtual environment. Does that mean it could run anywhere? I mean, can it run in the cloud? Can it run on an edge platform?
Of course, it can run, but it's meant to run on the production side,
right?
But not in a control cabinet, but in a IT environment, so in a air-conditioned room, which is not in a control cabinet. And it runs on not an industrial PC, but on a typical IT server.
Okay, but a PLC is very much a real-time system, and generally that's why they've been developed as appliances or dedicated function boxes. How do you manage the real-time situation in a virtualized environment in a local data center, on-prem data center?
That was also a question for us. In general, it's possible to run in a virtualized environment, so even in a virtual machine or in a containered environment like in a Docker container on Linux. And you can access IOs through a switch and a field bus like Ethernet or Profibus, EtherCAT or Profibus. And then you get round trip times from output to input of less than a millisecond. And of course, the whole product is based on the CODESYS runtime system, which serves in the industry for decades.
Yes.
In millions of applications.
And many different systems.
Yeah.
Well, this sounds very interesting. What are the benefits people find from virtualizing a PLC and putting it in this environment?
Basically,
what's the driver for it?
Yeah. Basically, there are three benefits of it. One benefit, it's a cost-effective solution because you cannot run just one PLC, but we make tests with up to 32 PLCs on a single server. So if you have, let's say, an assembly line with a few hundred PLCs, you can do that with just a few servers. The second advantage is because it runs in an IT environment, all the mechanisms for security updates can be applied. And it can be done very fast because if you do, let's say, an operating system update in the field, in a cabinet, you have to shut down everything. In a virtual environment, you just come up with a new virtual machine and can run immediately and shut down the old one as soon as the new one is running. And the third advantage is that you get independent of specific hardware supplies. So we experience a lot of customers asking us for hardware independent control systems because their suppliers run out of microchips for their controllers, and so they want to have something independent. And the virtual PLC is the right solution for that.
This sounds very interesting. We can recall from past ARC forums, people talking about the difficulties of managing large numbers of PLCs and the like in a factory floor and the challenges that brings to them. But can you talk about people who are using this technology now?
Yeah. I cannot exactly name the companies, but we have some really major customers with building new production lines, which are just based on a virtual PLC. So and they are in factory automation, so with quite high real-time requirements. But we have also customers in process automation in the food area. Both are in Europe.
Okay. Is this going to be commercially released as a product? What are you going to call it, and when are you going to release this?
The release is scheduled for the last quarter of this year. But as it's based on our existing product, we have a fully functional beta version. So whoever is interested in trying it and using it for a real plant or a real production line, he is welcome to ask us and get a fully functional prototype, a beta version.
Customers that are now using CODESYS in a runtime environment and an appliance like that, or an I/O system, PLC.
Yeah.
Will they have the same kind of license terms if they decide to virtualize, or how do you
that's
handle
interesting. In general, yeah, it's our license is typically linked to the device,
right?
And this will be the same. If it's really in a server and you want to switch the servers and move it from one server to the other, there will be a time-based license.
Okay, well, Dieter, I hope you'll come back next year and bring one of these users of the virtualized PLC and have them talk about it with us.
Yeah, I would be happy to do that. Yes.
Well, and thank you for coming across to visit us and talk with us today.
Harry, thank you again for the opportunity.
This is Harry Forbes from ARC Advisory Group. My guest has been Dieter Hess, the CEO of CODESYS Group. Thank you for watching.